And this young man, whom the whole world knows now for his tremendous achievement, the 1976 Olympics, where he won the Decathlon, probably the most arduous athletic event in history. And since that time, he's made a great name for himself as a sportscaster. Recently joined NBC Television as a part of the show Sports World, and will be one of the hosts of the Olympics 1980, and is also one of the hosts of NBC's America Live, which premieres Monday, July 24th, I assume on NBC. Would you welcome Mr. Bruce Jenner?
Shaky behind that curtain back there with that big pig running around. They had a hard time getting in the big cage they had.
Did you see the size of that animal?
Did I see it? You should have seen the size of the... It's a mess back there.
Don't tell me.
No,
look,
right here.
Look, just be thankful they didn't have the 100-yard pig carry in the Olympics or something like that for that final event instead of the 1,500
I never
meters.
thought it. You know, it's really appropriate because when I was in college, a small school in Iowa, and you know how Iowa guys have a town of 1,000 people, you have to create your own type of pets and everything. I had 2 pet pigs.
Did you really?
Yes, I had 2. Very small. The mother had wouldn't bring them into the litter, so the farmer said we had nothing to do with it, so he gave them to us. Arnold and Zephyl.
Arnold and Zephyl.
Arnold and Zephyl. They're very nice. They lasted only a couple of weeks. One, unfortunately, didn't make it.
I'm sorry.
And the other one, it got so big that we gave it back to the farmer.
I remember when we were in college, they used to have the grease pig contests, where they would grease them, literally with grease, and then the guys would go out and... You ever try to catch a grease pig?
Oh, that's almost impossible.
They are murder to catch.
They're so strong.
Yes, they are.
They're quick, strong.
You're looking good. The last time you were with me on this show, you were in a cast.
Yeah, I was. I just got now playing around with my motorcycle up in the mountains.
Yeah,
tore some tendons in my knees.
Did you give that up?
Yeah, well, not really. I still do quite a bit of it behind my house and stuff, but it's back in shape and it's fine. Playing a lot of tennis.
You know,
I hear you went to Wimbledon.
I went over, we went up and saw the Chris Everett, Martina Navratilova final and the Jimmy Connors, Bjorn Borg.
What'd you think of that match with Borg and Connors? Because I wasn't able to watch it on television, and after hearing about what happened, I was sort of amazed. I thought Connors would really be in there.
Well, it's a strange thing. Maybe watching the match on television, you got a different... Connors did not play badly. He's a superb tennis player. He's won practically everything in the world. And he was playing well, but Borg was so sensational that particular day that it didn't seem to make any difference what he would do. He would outserve him and outvolley him and so forth. It was just one of those days. I think if you take a week off or something, it might be just exactly the opposite, but it was an incredible match.
It'll be interesting in the U.S. Open.
You play a lot. I see you playing on the...
Yeah, I've been playing quite a bit. I try to play every day, and I've been working on the game. We'll have to get together sometime.
What level do you play at now? Playing with
I started off... I'm about an A player now. I've been trying to play quite a bit. I've got the RFK Celebrity Tennis Tournament in New York coming up. And the first time I ever played tennis was at Center Court, Forest Hills, live television, the whole works. And I had never played before, the serve like this and trying to get it in.
You've only been playing how many years?
And since that time, so it's just about 2 years. The last 8 months, very hard.
You're an A player?
Yeah, I'm playing about an A player now. But anyway, when I lost to Ethel Kennedy on Center Court, Forest Hills, I vowed to her that day, someday I'm going to come back and win your tournament.
I remember
And so
that.
this year I may have a chance. I don't know.
No, I remember that. You were a good sport. They put you out there, and you just won the Olympic Games, and you went out
3 weeks later
for charity, and you were out there, and you really had never played. And
I got killed.
So you said enough of that?
No, enough of that, yeah. So I'm going to have my comeback.
How long did you have to train for the Olympics? When you seriously put your mind and said, hey, I'm going to go, I'm going to enter the decathlon, and went into serious training. It's just not a matter of a year or so, is it?
No, it was the last 6 years of 12 years in the sport, but the last 6 years, very intensely. In the last 4 to 5 years, 6 to 8 hours a day of training. But it's incredible. Not, a lot of people think you're sort of a martyr about the whole thing, but in the decathlon, it is demanding event that you're forced to. If you're going to be good at the event, you've got to put a lot of time into it. And all the other athletes of the world do the same amount of time. They put the time
I assume, and I don't mean this as a silly question, was it worth it? Obviously, it's a goal you set, but the reason I asked that, Bruce, I have talked with other athletes, particularly a couple of swimmers. I won't even mention their name, and I asked them privately. I said, was it worth all of the agony for training? And I know a couple of them said no, they wouldn't have gone through it again because it was so punishing and so exhausting And,
yeah, I don't think I would go through it again.
Right.
That one time in my life, I felt like that's what I wanted to do. But as far as if it's worth it, yes, even when I went to the Olympic Games, the day before the Games, I said, if I get dead last in this meet, I feel like my career is worth it, because I learned a lot about myself. It was a tremendous opportunity for me. It was a lot of fun. I totally loved it. I loved the training. I loved the competition, everything. That obviously winning is icing on the cake, and I had the potential to win, and there was no reason why I couldn't win, barring injury or making a mental error or something. So I went into the competition and
let me ask you this question as an athlete now. Up until today, it was not quite sure whether yesterday was in the paper we were not going to get the Olympic Games. Today, the door was opened again. As an athlete competing out here, and I'm not doing this just a bad rap Los Angeles, but the weather conditions here, if we had some weather like we've had the past couple of weeks out here, how could athletes really function?
They just you're forced into it.
In events where you have to run and have to have that kind of endurance with the air. I guess any large city around the world now where the air is bad.
But you can remember back in '68 in Mexico City, one of the smoggiest cities in the world, the altitude, 7,000 something feet.
That's right.
The athletes you have to, the conditions are equal for everybody.
You rise
Maybe
to
the
it.
conditions are bad, but they're equal for everybody.
Yeah, it kind of levels it out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's the new show about now? You're gonna do a lot of traveling.
America Live, really excited about it because it gives me an opportunity. Yeah, it gives me an opportunity. Everything is done live. In fact, we did a spot this morning just for some of the people back in New York. I did it on water safety and the riptides and everything and lifeguards and how to save yourself and things like that. But like next week on Tuesday, real tough assignments. On Tuesday, I go to Acapulco to interview the new Miss Universe.
Oh.
Got any hints or anything like that, Any questions you'd like me to ask me?
No, it's too late for me. You're on your own. You're on your own.
On my own with that one, okay. The next day, going to Rock Huts and a place in Denver, just outside Denver, and do some summer skiing with him because he's got this new movie, Avalanche.
It's very tough.
A lot of the proceeds are going to a handicap ski program that I worked with and did a spot on about 6 months ago. And then on Thursday, I'll be in Lake Tahoe. Helen Reddy's house. She's got a solar home up there, and we're going to go through the house and see how it works and everything. Tough,
You get paid for this type of work?
I don't know.
Also?
I never asked that. I just go out there and do the job. It's like a vacation.
Well, I've been here. You better ask them. Quick.
Really?
That sounds great. Will you be that active all the time? Or is that just...
Hopefully, for the next probably month or two, I'll probably be very active when the show gets going. But month September, my wife's expecting her first little child. So
we'll come back and talk about that.
Sort of take it easy.
Lamaze,
yeah, we're going through Lamaze classes right now. Really exciting.
We'll talk about that. Let me take a break. We'll be right back. We're back. We're talking with Bruce Jenner. We have Joe Williams, Ray Johnson, Mary Lou Tola with us. We mentioned just before we broke away, speaking of athletics, and Christy's your wife, right?
Right.
She is more or less training along with you because you're going to have your baby the Lamaze method. I think Bobby Quinn went through that with his wife. If people are not familiar with that, explain that. You are actively involved in the whole...
Yeah, you really are. In fact, for America Live, I'm going to work on doing a spot for it to try to educate a lot of people on exactly what it is. And basically... for many years, the father has never been involved with the actual childbirth, and now, through the Lamaze method, the father is actively involved. And what it is, basically, the father is like the coach, or they have a coach that goes along. It doesn't have to be the father; it can be a sister or whoever the pregnant mother would want. But they go in and they help, they coach the person through it. And through using certain things, they can take a lot of the pain away, because a lot of the pain is a lot of fear. Fear is a tremendous problem, especially in first childbirth. People don't realize what it's all about. So the Lamaze method educates you to become very knowledgeable. So things that happen to your body when you're in labor, you don't have that fear problem because of, you know this is natural, this is what's supposed to happen. And also with breathing and relaxation. Breathing is a tremendous advantage to taking a lot of that.
Are you going right to the delivery room, going right to
Oh, yeah. I've already talked to my doctor. I'll be right there and take the kid out and the whole works. And I'm very excited about it. I've always loved kids, and I've always looking forward to having a child. And I'm definitely excited about it. I'll be there.
Now, all your kids will end up being athletes, I suppose, right? Or is that, is that a hazard for kids? They're saying, "Oh, my dad was the Olympic champion," and the kids are going to, expect me.
That's why I think the first one, because of that, and because a lot of people are putting pressure on any person that's in the public eye, their kids, to go into that field. I think I would rather have, not saying girls don't get into athletics, but I think I'd rather have a little girl first. And because if you have a little boy, people always say already, you're having a little decathlete, you know, start running decathlons and everything. And I feel sorry for the young boy if he gets in that position. I know my younger brother had that problem.
Yeah.
And growing up with his big brother being Bruce Jenner and all this sort of stuff.
Right.
So it caused a lot of problems with him. And
That's a good idea.
So I think I'd rather have a little girl first. Yeah.
Are you going to go to Russia when NBC carries the Olympics in 1980?
Yeah. I'll be there. In fact, I'll be one of the hosts of the games in 1980. There'll be, you know, it's 150 hours of programming.
I know.
And it's an amazing, amazing operation that they're going to be putting on. They'll have 3 spots during the day. They'll have like a noonish type spot,
Right.
late afternoon, and then the evening primetime host. And right now, the only ones that are firmed up as being hosts of the 2 daytime spots is OJ's going to host one, and I'll host the
That's
other.
great.
So I'm excited about
it. You have
it.
your little Russian dictionary?
As a matter of fact, yeah. As a matter of fact,
It's not an easy language.
It really isn't. The alphabet's completely different, and to try to speak it. And I've been to Moscow, and it's going to be difficult circumstances to work under, I know. And any Olympic Games is difficult to work on because the amount of pressure that's put on you, the amount of things that are going on. There's so many events and so many names that you're unfamiliar with that you've got to hopefully try to come up with. In fact, talking about names, there was a girl that runs a pentathlon, and the first time I looked at her name, 17 letters.
Can you?
And I looked at it, and I had no way. I had to ask some people, but it was Spatsova-Koitsvaya.
What was
And
it?
can you imagine trying to get that out in 100 meters? You know,
No,
trying to get that
the
one
race is
name.
over.
Yeah, Yoshia
She's out of that, and the winner is what?
Spatsova-Koitsvaya.
Spatsova-Koitsvaya.
Yeah, it's a tough one. But I mean, those are things that you have to be able to deal with. So it's a tremendous undertaking. And right now, like the America Live show, I'll be working for Sports World. A lot of these shows are just a learning situation for me. So by the time the 1980 Olympic Games go around, hopefully I can, you know, hopefully do a good job.
You'll do great. Let me take
Thank
another
you.
break. And Joe Williams, Mary Lou Tolo's with us, and Ray Johnson. It's always fascinating having you here. Really, I hope you'll come back.
Thank you.
Mary Lou, you're a delight.
Thank you very much.
Really, I hope. Would you come back and see us again?
I hope so.
Are you going to be out here for a while?
I'm living here.
What's-
If you accept me, did you?
What's about? Yes, sure. Absolutely. We accept you. Bruce, you start
Thank you.
America Live
Monday.
on Monday on NBC. And tomorrow night we have Richie Pryor will be with us, Dave Brubeck, Dorothy Fulltime, and Jean-Michel Cousteau. Thank you for being with us. Good night.